You are live. Awesome, guys. What's up? We are checking one, two, three. Where did I say that? Someone please tell me as well if the mic is on. Someone can tell me. My beautiful wife here can tell me it's on as well. Anyone who is seeing a comment, it's on. Awesome. Gideon, this is Eka, where we talk about anything and everything living in Africa. So today I'm gonna having an interview with Richard. Should be coming on live anytime soon. Let me see if I'm at now. Hopefully he's going to use the link and come on live anytime from now. So awesome. That's good. That's good. If anyone can see a comment, can tell me whether you can hear me. A comment or anything from you guys would be really nice as you wait for Richard to come on live. I've been a little bit busy. You guys, if you don't know, I dropped a video actually early in the day. I was having an interview with Ramesh, a Jamaican in Kenya. So that was really nice. We really talked about a lot of stuff about how he's living in Kenya, how he's networking. I'll actually be dropping a couple of series with him uh, in the following days, probably tomorrow, day after that. So yes, as we wait for yes, thank you, good stuff. Yes, you can hear me. Awesome. I'm gonna be waiting for Richard. Richard, if you can hear me anytime that you go on live, kindly just hop into the link so you can start the interview. Uh, and yes, if anyone else is also watching, kindly just share comments. Yes, let me. So I want to talk with Richard about how is it living in Indian. He's been there in Indian for I think the last 2 years or so. So I really wanted to find out how he's living, how he's finding life in Kenya. So yeah, we gotta wait for him as he comes on and as we continue doing the live. Feel free to give a comment, anything that you might be want me to answer as a realtor. Just what I said, this is also my first live, so I hope it's gonna be awesome one. I actually tried doing this live the other time. It went really horribly wrong with vacation, but she's gonna be coming in tomorrow. So this kind of also like a test run, just to check it out how it goes. And hopefully, I'm gonna be actually asking my wife to just call and reach out, find let's see and find out. I'll actually call live just to remind me to just hop in the interview. Let me see. Yeah, let me just yeah. Let me right you. Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. Yeah, I think it's available. Usually his number goes. The number usually goes like that. But I think it's in the course wherever he stays. Must I think either the internet or network is usually wrong because every time I call him, but I hopefully he'll see that I was trying to call him so he can hop into the link which I had sent earlier. Anyways, for those guys who are watching, thank you so much. I'll give another view as well. Thank you. Feel free to ask me a question for those guys who want to ask you a question, so that we can keep this conversation, so that I don't talk to myself alone. Otherwise, I might be going mad. So, living in Kenya, anyone who has a question, kindly feel free to send the question as you wait for Richard. It also is a good thing to just say because it's actually been raining, and when in Kenya it rains, a couple of things can happen. One of them is blackouts are very frequent when it rains. The blackout are not as bad as people usually think. I probably have a blackout every maybe once a month for like 2 or 3 hours. But when it rains, they are really severe because I believe maybe the network is not very good. I can hear my wife laughing. Why are you laughing? Yeah, yeah, she's laughing. Yeah. So yeah, as we wait for Richard. Richard, if you can hear me, I actually need you to just send him a text. I'm like, hey guy, I'm live, man. Um, Let me just do that. I'm live. Let me tell you, I'm live. Awesome. Yeah, that could be an issue actually with power when there's when it rains and it's usually raining currently. Um, this may tend to happen, and if it doesn't, I'll go back and do. I'll actually be doing because I had actually promised to really touch on it. One of the first thing I really wanted to know with him is what was the process of relocating to Kenya, because I cannot believe he's here, he's married and with a kid and stuff. And so I wanted to see how his relocation is for him. Um, Richard, if you're hearing me, I'm waiting for you, right? So just wanted to see how that will go on. I'm gonna try to call him as well. Let me try also to just tell him I've been live for a while, so you can step in. Um, I'm live. I'm live. It's been well, so some of the things. Thank you guys. There's been the video I did with Rochelle really got a lot of play, and I'm really thankful for um, guys who actually joined in, commented, asked for stuff. Thank you so much. I'm really thankful. So um, hopefully I've done everything that needs to be done. Uh, in the, that's good. Yeah. Anyone who can, whoa, three guys watching. Thank you, guys. Send me a text, anything, ask question, anything. I can answer as we wait for Richard. So where they can just tell me if you can hear me, where you're watching from, as we wait for Richard to come in. And I'll actually keep on going. I'll not. I know it's raining so there might be technical issues in Diani, Mombasa, where Richard is coming from. So I'll be patient. Hopefully, he can come in as soon as possible. As I wait for him. Anyone who has a question, please feel free to answer the question. This is a live interview, so I'm gonna. If you want to hop in as well, just tell me. I'll see if I can send you a link as well. I don't know how that works though, but I'll try. But for now, if you have a question, kindly ask. It's also raining. Hopefully, you guys are audible enough for you guys to hear. I'm audible. I know there are three guys watching. Come on, someone tell me if it's audible. It is, yeah. Awesome. So I should have had actually my yeah. I should have actually told my wife to contact. Let me see if I can try and contact Richard. Maybe the number. Let me do that live. Mhm. So in the interest of being honest, I should also say when it rains here in Kenya, these are some of the these are some of the things that can occur, and I'm okay with that. Um, let me just see that. Let me just see that with my browser. After the beep. All right. Well, let me see the number as well. Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to. All right. Anyway, um, I'll try and contact. I think we can go, Carol. We can go live after. I can if I end this stream, I can go live after a short while. If I try and probably reach out to Richard, would that be possible? Um, hopefully, we can find him. We can go back to the stream. That would be my prayer. Yeah. So I'll actually just. What about if I just leave it open like that? Eh? And try to contact him. Right. Um, so both his numbers are off, and I know because sometimes I don't know when it rains, you hear a lot of stuff. Let me just try and. I am. actually next time we should have at least two. Yeah, two guys who are on live interview. Just if one fails and just in case one fails, I can have another one live there. Right, he's calling. So yeah. Hey, Richard. Yeah, what's up, bro?
You're ready right now?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm actually waiting for you.
Okay. So sorry about that.
It's all right. It's all right. Just come in. Just come in. Just come in. Just come in.
Okay.
All right. So Richard is on. Oh, thank you. I was almost going. I was almost going mad. That oh my goodness, he's on. I'm gonna give him just a few seconds just for him to log in a few, and then we are officially going to start the interview. Thank you for those two guys who have been waiting for such a long period of time. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot, man. That means a lot. That means a lot. So let's see. Let's see. Wait for Richard to come in anytime for the interview. Let's just wait for him. Give him 1, 2, 3. He should be coming on anytime. 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 Let me see. The internet is good. Everything is good. That is good. That is good. Awesome. Let me see. It's coming through. So also, if you have any other questions you'd like to ask, Richard is an African American who's been living in Diani for the last, I believe, 3 years. Um, uh, so if you have any questions on how the relocation went or anything on that, kindly just send in the question. I'll see the question and ask him, comment. Yeah. So as we wait for Richard, I've already talked to him, guys. I've already talked to him, so I'm just waiting for him to just click on the link um, and do this. I also might want to mention that it's gonna be a first live interview with him. So I usually do interviews, but I usually do them pre-recorded. So these is just find it a bit not very professional. Just come on, give us a little bit of grace. It's not the easiest thing, so I guess there's a fast time for everything. I'm hopefully gonna be waiting for Richard to come in anytime soon. Before I talk myself, I just talk myself up. I wish I could have some water. Thank you. Can I get some water? My beautiful wife. Some water. Richard, I can see he's coming in. He's coming in. Add to stage. Whoa, brother, how
Ah,
are you?
hello. How are you?
Oh, thank you, man. I was almost there. I've been talking for the last 13 minutes on my own.
Sorry about that.
It's all right, my brother. How are you? Is it raining in Mombasa? In Diani? Is it raining?
No, not right now. It's not raining, but it's been raining on and off for the past couple of days. So
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's actually raining. I actually thought maybe because it's raining in Mombasa, you could be having some issues because ordinarily in Nairobi when it rains, you can sometimes expect a blackout. But then it's okay, right? As long as I can see it's good.
yeah, right now everything's fine.
You can hear me clearly, I hope.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me clearly as well?
I can. So Richard, I'll just go straight to it,
Okay.
yeah?
Yeah.
Give me a shortened version of how, because I remember you coming in I think like 2, 3 years ago, and from that
Yeah.
time and how you ended in Diani. So my question is, how did you end up in Diani? What's that journey from the States to Diani?
Um. Okay. So when I first started coming to Kenya, uh, my first 2 years, I just spent going to Nairobi, and I just familiarized myself with Nairobi,
Uh-huh.
and I happened to meet my wife. She's from the coast, so
Oh,
while we're in Nairobi, she just recommended to me, come see where I grew up at. Maybe you
yeah.
might like it. If you don't like it, then you can go back to Nairobi. And then once I came to the coast, then I always just come to the coast. I've been staying here ever since.
So it's not like you're a coastal person because there are guys who like living in the coast. I personally like going to the coast just for a few days because it's very hot and then back to Nairobi. Your demeanor kind of feels like a coast, like you live in the coast very well.
Um, for me, it has less to do with it being on the coast,
Yeah,
and more to do with like the slower pace of living, and then the population is smaller too. For me,
yeah,
I don't like being in super like really large cities. It kind of
yeah,
makes me feel claustrophobic when in Nairobi you're like bumping
yeah,
shoulders with people. Yeah, I don't really
yeah.
like that, so I prefer smaller towns.
Oh, interesting. Let me ask
Yeah,
you, just for the background sake, which actually, where in the United States did you come from in the United States?
from Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, you're from Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my first questions, what are your first impressions of Kenya when you came, of Nairobi? So I assume you came to Nairobi first and then maybe to Mombasa. So what are your first impressions?
Um, you know, initially coming from the United States, they kind of have like some propaganda over there that
Yeah,
everything is like the slums or it's like a rural
yeah,
area.
yeah.
So I was a little bit surprised at how much the country was developed compared to what I was told in the United States.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're surprised of how the developers are in Nairobi, right?
For the most part, yeah, I was kind of surprised.
So let me ask you, what are the for people who are watching, probably expats and stuff? What is what's the cost of living in the states vis-a-vis in living, let's say, for example, Indiana, where you are? How would you compare that?
Um, I'll say like in the city where I'm from, you might be able to find a one bedroom apartment for like $1,200 to $1,500,
Mhm.
whereas in a place like Mombasa or Diani, you can find a similar property, a
Yeah,
similar apartment for
yeah,
maybe $400 or $500.
yeah.
So it's like the cost of living is like a third of what it is in the United States.
It's so the cost of living is nowhere near what you'd be paying for. So currently, where are you guys staying? Would you say it's more of an expat area, or are you living as a local? But I mean, like a local is like you're getting an average place where a local would live, or are you living
Yeah.
like an expat area?
No, I don't usually stay in the expat areas.
So you're living on the average. Would you be comfortable enough to share what are the margins in terms of your rent? What are you looking at?
Um, since I've been on the coast, I would say
Hmm.
the least amount of money I've spent on rent was like $60 for a bed sitter,
Wow.
and that's when I first came to the coast. I was staying in a rural area,
Yeah.
so the rent's a little bit cheaper in the village, and then just various places from $60 up to $450.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, do you like as compared to your life in the States, would you say you really like do you like the slower pace of life and the lifestyle that you because Diani is pretty what's the word? It's not very as modern as probably Nairobi. Do you like that sort of a pace and what are the actually like what is it like on a day-to-day basis? What does that look like for a person for an expert who's coming from the state? What does that look like exactly in Diani?
Um, for me,
Yeah.
well, I like to start off first by saying, like, I'm not a person who's like materialistic. I don't need to
Ah,
go to many different restaurants all the time. I don't
yeah,
need to like go to the mall, like, buying designer clothes and
yeah,
like going to special events.
yeah,
So I live a very simple life. So for me, getting up, getting
Yeah,
whatever work I need to get done, and
yeah,
then if I want to go for a walk or if I want to take my family to the beach, like
yeah.
those are the kind of things that I do on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, interesting. So, how did you? I
Yeah,
know your wife is from the coast, but would you say having a local is really a local guide or a local person in terms of getting houses and stuff? Do you think that would be a very important part of it?
yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
pretty essential. I think it's essential actually
Yeah,
to whichever country you're going to
yeah,
to make friends with the local people.
yeah. What's the security for an expert who is coming? What does the security both in Nairobi and also I would also imagine Diani? How does that look like for people who fear maybe Africa is not safe? What would that look like?
Okay, so as far as the security is concerned,
Yeah,
I would say it's pretty safe to walk around,
yeah,
depending on the area. Just like in the
yeah,
United States, there are certain areas when it gets dark, you don't really want to be walking around too much.
yeah.
But I would say the main difference is there
Mm-hmm.
is the police service is not as robust as it is in the United States.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
the manpower that they have that's
Mm.
available to them to police whichever areas is not as
Mm-hmm.
much as it is in the United States.
Yeah,
The technology and the kind of weapons that they have maybe is
yeah,
not as good as the US. And then the
yeah.
main thing I would say is there's not really like any 911 that you can call. In the United States, somebody's chasing you. At least if
Yeah,
you're running, you dial 911 on your phone, and then immediately, emergency services can be sent to your location. But here, somebody's
uh,
chasing you, then you just better be fast or know how to fight and defend yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have you had any incident in Diani as of yet? Any security incident and on what happened if there was one?
Um, the only incident I would say that kind of almost directly affected me was
Mm-hmm.
when you guys were having the protests.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
remember. I don't remember if it was like late last year or early this year.
It's early this
Sometime
year, actually. Yes.
early this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I ride my own motorbike around. So
Wow.
I'm coming from somewhere with my family. I have my family on the back of my motorbike, and
Yeah.
there's several cars ahead of me,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I see the cars split out to the side to go around, and there's a roadblock now in front of me.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people screaming at me. A guy
Yeah.
lifted up a huge stone like he was about to throw it at me, and
Yeah.
luckily I stayed in that area and I was able to just go off onto one of the side roads. But as far
Yeah.
as like directly, that's like the closest thing I've
That's
had
the
as far
closest.
as security. Yeah.
Uh, I know you're pretty, as you told me, you're pretty living with other probably Africans as well, Kenyans rather. Sorry, Kenyans. Yeah. Do you have any sort of expert community that you either go to that you commune with, or are you guys on your own there?
Uh, yeah, there's no, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's communities around, but as far as me, I pretty much do
Yeah.
my own thing. I
Uh
do
huh.
have some American friends that I know that come back and forth to Kenya, but it's just my personal friends. It's not like a wider community.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So the other thing for American, like an African American in Indiana, uh, navigating the local culture and customs in Indiana, how do you go about that? Have you integrated yourself, or are you having just you're still on that something? Let me ask.
Yeah, pretty much I just go with the flow. I
Yeah,
as long
yeah,
as long as someone doesn't put their hands on me or like disrespect me in a way where I feel like I need to be confrontational, you know,
Yeah,
I just go with the flow.
you just go with the flow. Yeah. For
Yeah.
African, someone who like an African American, let's say an African American man who wants to come to the coast, you want to live the kind of slow life, yeah. What would be the
Mhm.
advice you'd give them? Something that you've gone through. What are practical advice? Not even just coast. Where someone who wants to come to Nairobi, what are some of the practical advice you'd give them?
Practical advice.
Yes, for someone who's
First, yeah, first of all, I would say to get to know a local person that you can trust
yeah,
and get a get a
hmm
good lawyer, a good
yeah,
lawyer.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Actually, I recommend getting maybe even two or three good lawyers. And then
uh-huh.
what were you gonna say?
Yeah, well, what you said lawyer. What are the practical? Tell me why do you give me the practical reasons why you need a lawyer? Just for the sake of someone who's coming in. Yeah,
um, even though a lot of things can be done online in
yeah,
Kenya, it's just
yes,
uh it's just reassuring that things are getting done exactly
hmm,
like you don't have to question yourself. If you have a lawyer, they know what
yeah,
they're doing, then it's
yeah,
gonna save you a lot of money in the long run, I feel like.
yeah.
And also,
Something. Yes, go on,
well,
please.
no, I was just gonna say, and also as a foreigner, um,
Yeah.
there may be certain exceptions or loopholes that a lawyer might be aware of that you yourself you
Oh,
might not be aware of.
yeah, and yeah, hence the lawyer. Let me
Yeah.
ask you. I know this. You tell me if you're comfortable answering it or not comfortable answering it. Yeah. There has been a wave of African American men coming
Yes.
in. Yeah, um, I would say probably they're coming to have fun. I think you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Um, I understand why they're doing that
Yeah.
because coming from the United States, the market for dating and having fun is kind of soured over the years for
Yeah.
men of all races and colors.
Mm,
So um, yeah, I just feel like if you want to do that, there's
mm,
people in Kenya, Kenyans themselves. They love to party and have a good time. So
mm.
as long as you're not hurting anybody or breaking any laws, then
Okay.
I don't see any issue with that.
Do you miss, oh, no, I know you say you like a slow life in the beginning. Do you ever see yourself ever coming back to Nairobi? Or do you frequently come to Nairobi for business or anything else?
I don't uh, I don't necessarily see myself coming back to Nairobi,
Mm-hmm.
but I would
Mm-hmm.
say that some of the developments going on around Nairobi
Mm-hmm.
are kind of enticing. Like if I was to
Ah,
ever get yeah, if I was ever to get enough money to invest the way that I wanted to in
yeah,
either land or a home. For
yeah,
example,
yeah,
there are some planned cities like Tatu City and
yeah,
Tilisi, yeah,
yeah,
and Tilisi
uh-huh,
over in Tigoni,
yeah,
where basically it's an enclosed community. You got a section for
yes,
residential, you got a
yes,
section for commercial warehousing, a section
yeah,
for entertainment, section
yes,
for healthcare, private
yeah,
schools. It's
yeah,
very well planned out.
yeah,
Nairobi is the only area of the country where I see that kind of pre-planned city development going on. So
yeah.
that would be one reason why I would come back to Nairobi. But other than that, not really.
But now that because now you actually mentioned that some a bit of the real estate. How is the real estate in not just Diani, but How is the real estate in Mombasa coming up? Is there something that really has caught your eye or something of that sort?
Um, Recently, they completed the Dongo Kundu bypass
Yes.
going from Mombasa Airport over
Mm-hmm.
to Kwale County.
Yes.
And there's some other development, another highway they're building
Yes.
from Niali around City Mall, supposed
Yeah.
to go all the way up to Malindi. It's
The
supposed to
gate
be
bridge.
similar.
The gate bridge. You mean the gate bridge? They are supposed
Yeah,
to link up South Coast and North Coast. South Coast and yes, that one. Uh-huh.
every time I go up to that side, it seems like the progress is going along well.
Rapidly, right?
Um, I don't know. I wouldn't say rapidly, but it's not slow. It's not slow,
Yeah.
but it's better than I've seen in the past as far
Yeah.
as how quickly it's coming along.
It doesn't. What you mean? It doesn't compare probably with how fast Nairobi is going. That's what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Would you think the fact that it's not growing as fast as that? Would you think that would be a really good place to invest? Now that because probably the land would be slightly cheaper.
No, actually, I think the prices would be going up.
The price, so the price is going up, and you don't see it developing as fast as Nairobi would be.
Yeah, the prices are going up. For example, like here in Diani, ever since
Yeah,
they finished that bypass from
yeah,
Mombasa Airport, now
yeah.
people are expecting the prices to go up because Diani is going to have easier access.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, Richard, what do you see? Now that you're in the coast and you have a family, do you ever see yourself ever going back to the States?
Yeah, I go back to the States when I need to work or if I'm visiting family.
Oh,
But
really?
that's it. Yeah.
Oh, so you go back to the state, get your money, and then come back.
Yeah, basically that's it. When I'm back in the States, I'm just
Yeah.
working and then
Uh-huh.
once I got enough money then I'm back over here.
So on a typical day to day, how, if you don't mind, so you only work in the coast, but in Indiana, is that something that you're doing on a day to day basis to any job, or are you doing online, or how do you guys survive? Or you have to go back to the states every so often.
Yeah, you have to go back to the States every so often. But
Mhm.
you just save enough money to last
Yeah,
you a certain amount of time and then
yeah.
you know, I do teach martial arts, but it's not something
Oh,
I do full. Yeah, it's not something I do full time. It's just on the side here and there.
so you teach martial arts in Indiana? That's what you do?
Yeah.
How's that going on? And actually, that leads me to another question. For an African American who are looking for opportunities in terms of whatever, in terms of business, what are some of the things that you actually would point them to? Or maybe I think there's a gap there. What would that be?
Um, Maybe
Mm-hmm.
real estate development,
Yeah.
um, garbage collection, disposal,
Oh,
water
that's a nice one.
treatment.
That's a really nice one.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Or what else? What else
water
would you
treatment.
do out there?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those are
Those are the
some.
two. Yeah, those are two main ones. How is food at the coast? Kenyan food. Let me start
Food.
with Kenya. Yeah.
Um, it's good. It's good.
It's good.
It's good. Yeah, it's not
I
bad.
usually
It's
say
not bad.
Kenyan. My wife usually just gives me an eye when I say Kenyan food is very bland. It's really very bland. Yeah.
Um, I would say not necessarily bland,
Mm-hmm.
but it's pretty much just like salt, pepper, onions, garlic. It's just kind of basic more than bland. Like it can be
Yeah.
seasoned and have a good flavor, but there's not many
Yeah.
like extra spices and
Yeah.
peppers and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I say it's Kenyan food can be. Wow, that's an understanding. Kenyan food can be very bland, however, it's very healthy. Would you say that's true? It's very healthy.
Yeah, for the
It's
most
very
part, if
healthy
you eat in, yeah, if you eat in
for
the
most part.
local, yeah.
Mhm. So, as we almost I told you, I will not keep you so much long for 30 minutes to 40 minutes. Let me ask you, what are some of the things that shocked you about Nairobi or even Diani at the coast? What are some of those things you're like that really shocked in terms of cultural shocks? I don't know.
Um, One thing that really shocked me is people don't really keep time that much. So even me today, you see, I've been here too long. Even I was late. So
Yeah, so I was just saying, yeah, we become Kenyanized, yeah?
yeah, it happens, and you know, it's kind of a domino effect because you try to make
Yeah,
plans for later in the
yeah,
day at a specific time, but
yeah,
then when your first appointment's late, then that leads to your next appointment being late, and then next
yeah,
thing you know, you were supposed to be in this side of town, but the traffic
yeah,
got bad. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And I can imagine actually at the coast, that's because here in Nairobi, you say coastarians are very slow. Let me be honest, right? So I'm imagining in there in terms of time, it's really bad.
it can be bad sometimes.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Are you hearing the thunder from there?
What's that noise there?
You can hear the thunder?
Yeah, I can. I hear something.
Sorry, you're saying something. Sorry. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
What was that you said?
Oh, sorry, yeah, the slow pace of life, the completely slow pace of life there. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean it's slow, but still business gets done.
Mm.
It's not like you can't get anything done. It's just
Yeah.
yeah, people don't take the time like being on time as something that's that important.
Yeah. Do you think as an American that slow pace of life, how does it affect your health, your mental health in a good way or is it in a bad way when things have to slow down?
For me, for me. I like it, so you know it's great for my mental health. But
Mm.
you know, it's just personal preference. If that's something that you, that has to be something that you like. So
Mm.
yeah, just chilling, relaxing most of the time. You know, you
Mm.
work when you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much it.
We last three, four, five, last four questions. Yeah.
It's fine. It's
I know
fine.
I'm mixing them because I'm just when I remember something or something someone asked exactly, and I know you touched this on the cost of living kindly because I know someone actually just keeps on testing me on WhatsApp. The cost of living is very important to our viewers, right? I know
Yeah.
you've touched on rent, but in the cost of life, someone living in Diani, what would you say would be the budget that you're looking for to you to live? You can say that an expert life or a average life. What would that cost look like in terms of internet, electricity, housing, just generally?
Um, I would say maybe something like internet. It all depends on the speed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find internet from $20 to $40, but then it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a slower speed. So you
Yeah.
might only be able to use one device comfortably instead
Mm-hmm.
of several devices. You know, you might not be able to stream in high definition, but then
Yeah.
you can get some Wi-Fi packages up
Mm-hmm.
to $60, $100,
Mm-hmm.
and you could stream 4K on several devices.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one for the Wi-Fi. And then
Yeah.
as far as shopping at the grocery store,
Yeah.
again, it depends on your lifestyle. If you're the kind of person you just go to the grocery store all the time, like the more modern grocery stores like Carrefour,
Mm-hmm.
Nivus, um,
Yeah.
I forget what's the other one they have. Is it Quick Mart?
Quick
And then
math, yes.
Food Plus.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's really
if
yeah.
yeah, if you're going there, which I do sometimes, but if you're going there, I would say you might be spending between, it depends if you're by yourself or with your family, but
Mhm.
anywhere between $200 and $600 a month for
Ooh,
food. Yeah. If that's only if you strictly shop only at the grocery store.
yeah,
Now, if you're okay walking around the local areas
yeah,
and you get your vegetables from the Mama and Boga, you know, you're buying your cleaning supplies from the M-Pesa shop that's around your house. You know, you're shopping around like that. You're getting your
yeah,
rice and your beans and your sugar
yeah,
from the local cereal shop.
yeah.
Then you can save quite a lot of money going that route.
Ah, oh, that's
Yeah.
very. I like. I really like that because I usually try to encourage guys to go to their local markets as well. Um, is there anything that you'd wish that you have probably when you're going shopping that you don't have in Mombasa, Diani, that you'd rather that you usually have in the states that you don't get in Mombasa? What are some of those things that you actually miss?
Um, I mean, sometimes I miss certain fast food restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then some of the more, how can I say, some of the more upscale grocery stores, like
Yes.
in the United States, they have a grocery store called Wegmans, and then there's
Oh.
some other ones called like Sprouts and Trader Joe's. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
miss going to some of those, and then I really like shopping at they're called Costco and Sam's Club, but basically they're big warehouses. They
Yeah.
sell a lot of household items in bulk, and it's a
Yeah.
lot cheaper than buying at the grocery store. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I miss, like shopping at Costco and Sam's Club, stuff like that.
Awesome, awesome. As we wind down, what are some of the for someone who's looking to come to Kenya? Maybe they are skeptical about it. What would be that thing that you can tell them? Probably they're feeling maybe the security and they're trying to take a risk maybe to come. What would you tell them?
Um, I would tell them, you know, my main thing for coming back and forth to Kenya the first time, the thing I
Hmm.
had the most trouble with was going through the airport, and they're kind of harassing people going through Nairobi airport a lot,
Hmm.
especially if you're bringing extra electronics or valuable items.
Yes.
So for me, in order to kind of negate some of the hassle of going through customs and until at least you get acclimated to how things are, I
Mm.
prefer traveling, doing like one bag travel. So that's
Mm.
like one less step that you have to deal with going through security. And then
Yeah.
also, I don't really like flying directly to Nairobi airport. I
Mm.
prefer to fly to Mombasa, and
Oh.
then it might take a little bit more time and it costs a little bit more money. But
Yeah.
for me, the treatment and I'm not getting harassed as much at Mombasa
Oh.
airport compared to Nairobi. It would be worth it more to travel to Mombasa and then either
Yeah.
take a local flight, take a
Yeah.
local flight to Nairobi or take the
Yeah.
SGR. Because when you take a local flight to Nairobi, you're not coming in through the international line. It's not that bad. Yeah, that would be my advice coming to Nairobi for the first time.
Oh,
Other than that,
awesome.
it's yeah. Other than that, it's pretty safe. Just as long as you're not bothering nobody, you shouldn't have to
Yeah.
worry too much about security. But find a local, have them show you around, somebody you can trust. Yeah,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
a get a good lawyer.
Yeah.
So I always feel like it's good to have some locals that you can trust.
Yeah.
Get a good lawyer.
Yeah.
Um, a quantity surveyor, a good
Oh.
realtor,
Yeah.
yeah, a good realtor, and then try to shop at the local places. It's a good way to save money, and it's a good way to mingle with the locals and meet new people.
Yeah, yeah. Look at you. You came here. You found even your wife
Yeah,
and now a family here in Nairobi. So in Kenya.
yeah,
So I would be really feel really bad if I asked you as we wind up. Everyone I know, even Nairobians, even Kenyans, usually have at least one scam story. Like definitely someone must have scammed you somewhere. What's
you.
your yeah? What's your
Oh,
scam story?
one
Someone
scam
was
story.
scamming you. Yeah.
Um, I've had everything from people asking me for money at the airport
Yeah.
and all my paperwork's in order, but I don't want to miss my flight, or so people asking me for money at the airport. And when you ride on the road in Kenya, every so often there might be police checkpoints, people
Yeah.
asking me for money when I'm crossing the ferry, trying to give me trouble. um, Again, at the airport, there was a time when I first came to Nairobi,
Yeah.
some police officers got some money off of me, trying to
Mm,
trying to scare me and intimidate me. It was
mm,
my first time in Kenya, so I didn't know any better.
yeah.
Yeah,
I usually tell experts when you're dealing with Kenyan police, when they deal with Kenyan police, the thing is they'll never arrest you. Really, they actually don't want to arrest you. They want to frustrate you enough for you to get the money. So when you tell them, you know what, okay, arrest me, they usually will just leave you alone. That's usually one of my tips.
um, I would say that can be true most of the time, but for me,
Yeah.
my first experience didn't go that way. Actually, actually, they didn't technically arrest me,
Yeah.
but they were basically like I told them that what you said, fine, just take me to the police station or do whatever you got to do. Like
Mm,
they didn't put handcuffs on me and arrest me, but they were like walking me like they were going to. So,
yeah. That's
sometimes
usually
that
part of the, even for a Kenyan, that's
and I've
usually part of what they try to do. But I'm saying that's usually part of what the intimidation they try to do. They like tell you, let's go to the police station. But in actual sense, they wouldn't. I'll give you a very good tip. Kenyan policemen will never, and even Kenyans, I know people will say I'm lying or something. Kenyan policemen will never want to take an American to a police station outrightly because they know they're gonna have to either do an explaining. They usually keep off foreigners, especially Western foreigners.
actually actually I've found out, I've seen with my own eyes, that's
Yeah,
one misconception. Foreigners think that they can go to another country that's a developing country and say, oh, I'm from the UK or I'm from the United States, so you better not arrest me. Or no, I've seen, not personally African Americans, but
yeah,
foreigners, whether they be Italian from the UK, whatever, yeah, get arrested and go to the police station, and stories of them having to bribe the police to get out or give them
yeah,
some money to leave them alone.
yeah,
So don't think just because you're a foreigner that you're like untouchable.
yeah.
You're not. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Richard, as I still over the have more questions. Can I require, would you be comfortable 10 more minutes and then we wrap it up? 10 minutes?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Now that, have you been actually to other African countries?
No, not really. Just basically passing through. Yeah, just passing through.
So this is the thing. I find so many African Americans, they have um, that affiliation to come to Africa because they are Africans like us, yeah? Our skin color is the
Yeah.
same. Is that also, and they feel like because of either racism or there, coming in Africa, did you have that sort of inkling to come because of you have more Africans, or for you, you are just traveling?
No, actually, that was my main reason for coming over here.
Really? Do you know? I
Yeah.
usually say, as a Kenyan, Kenyans don't understand what is racism. As we had colonizations, I guess for you guys had slavery, right? Uh,
Yeah.
but we, when Kenyans hear about racism, they like it can't be that bad. But now that you're here, how is it that bad, or is it? uh, try to explain to a person like me who hasn't been to the States, how bad is it?
Okay,
For you to
so
live in a country that has so much system, has opportunity, has money, but for you to decide, you know what, I'll go to Africa. I know they have issues, but I'm still willing to go there.
yeah, because at the end of the day,
Yeah,
um, it's about peace of mind. And if my mind is always anxious and I don't have peace of mind, then how can I really enjoy my life? So I would say one of the big differences is here in Kenya, um, Africans are the majority.
yeah,
So when you go outside, you mostly
hmm,
see people that look like you.
yeah,
But for me, you know, in the United States, Europeans or people of European descent are the ones that are the majority in the country. So
hmm,
you can live in a part of the country, and every time you go outside, you
hmm,
can maybe count on through the whole day. You can count on
hmm,
one hand how many other African Americans you saw during the day.
yeah,
It's not like that everywhere, but
hmm,
in some places it is. And then another thing is the racism is there, even though there's the opportunity and not
yeah,
everyone is racist.
yeah,
There's so many Caucasian people that maybe one African American person grew up around Caucasians that were totally racist, and then on the other side of the country or in another city, another African American might have grown around Caucasian people that were never racist to them.
yeah, yeah,
Another thing is some people don't recognize the racism and discrimination,
hmm,
so it doesn't really affect them.
yeah,
Some people recognize the racism and discrimination,
hmm,
but they feel like they don't have any alternative. There's nothing they can do about it, so they
hmm,
just accept it.
yeah,
Then you have some people who
hmm,
recognize the racism and discrimination and they lash
hmm,
out uncontrollably, or they do something destructive to kind of
yeah,
rebel against the system that
yeah,
they're raised in.
yeah,
Then I feel like there are other people like me who
hmm,
recognize that there's racism and discrimination, and rather than fight or just take it, you know, I'll rather leave. And
yeah,
then you have the people who are like celebrities or they have a lot of
yeah,
money to the point where either they always had enough money where they never had to deal with it, or
hmm,
they've been having money for so long that they've kind of isolated themselves away from the issues that go on
hmm.
concerning racism and discrimination. I would almost describe it like a. Have you ever seen a quilt that has like a many different colors and layers in it? To
What a quill,
me,
a quill.
like a blanket that somebody sewn. To
Yeah,
me, the racism and discrimination in the United States is kind of like a it's kind of like that, where the racism and discrimination can be really heavy in some areas and then
hmm,
almost non-existent in other areas, and then it's like
yeah,
in between everywhere else. Yeah. So that's why you get so much conflicting stories about some people say they never experienced it, and then some people say that it's like really, really, really bad. It's because it
yeah,
varies depending on where you live
yeah,
and the kind of person you are.
yeah,
For me personally,
yeah,
I can't I can't work at a job and constantly be disrespected, always be
yeah,
the butt of every joke, you
yeah,
know, trying to make me clean the bathroom every time or make me do all the hard work while everybody sits back and relax. I can't deal with that. I would
yeah,
rather leave and go live in Kenya where I can have a mostly comfortable life and at least my peace of mind is there. some people in the United States, they'll deal with that, and they'll just be content with getting another job, or just dealing with it, because
Mm.
living in the United States with the modern amenities is better than life over here. And to me, it's not. It's just personal preference.
Oh, wow. Actually, I'll be
Yeah.
really honest. That's one of the times someone has really explained it in it's psychological. Like you could be having all these amenities and all this stuff, but when it's psychologically and it's constant, you'd actually prefer this side with the less opportunity than that side.
Yeah, like to me, where I live, it's built up. The roads are wide. There's a good amount of lanes in each road. There's lights, 24/7 electricity. Each
Mm,
plot of land has the uh, has the city water,
mhm,
propane, natural gas,
mm,
all the utilities. So there's
mm,
like, excuse me,
mhm,
yeah, like the bus system is very efficient. You
mm,
know, the regulations and everything, the standards. People have AC in their house, a majority of them. For me, I don't care about those kind of things if it means that I have to deal mentally with uh, the kind of and
yeah,
yeah, it's just hard to explain it,
yeah,
especially to people from Kenya. I find, because when I was in Arizona, I used to work with Kenyans, actually several of them, in some of the
oh,
jobs that I worked at. Yeah, I worked with Kenyans, and they would always ask me, why am I going over there, because their experience is not the same as the experience that I experienced. And one thing that I would like to add is that if you're from Africa and you go to the United States, you're gonna be a foreigner then in the United States, so you're gonna try to be on your best behavior to blend
yeah,
in and follow the laws and not make any
yeah,
trouble. Whereas
yeah,
a African American, this is my land. My ancestors were slaves here, so if I feel
yeah,
disrespected, or if I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, you
yeah,
know, I might lash out. Whereas, a foreigner might, yes sir, just go along with whatever the police says. That's one
yeah,
thing. Two, they can deport you.
yeah,
So if you get, let's say, even if you did something wrong, you'll
mm,
just be deported. An
yeah,
African American cannot be deported from the United States. So whether we're resisting discrimination or some kind of abuse, or if we do
mm,
something wrong, since they
mm,
can't kick us out, they either put us in jail or they shoot
mm,
you.
yeah,
So so you're a Kenyan, you go to the United States, you live there for a long time. Hey, it's not as bad. It's great, but the experience is way different. It's way
yeah.
different. Then plus, as soon as they see you or they hear your accent, you're getting a different treatment than one that I would get.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
what you're actually saying, you'd be treated worse than like even an immigrant. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Ah, interesting. Okay. Wow. That's something I've really learned a lot. Top five. Oh yeah. What's one of your best places? Have you been to a safari yet? Not yet.
Um, I'm not a big fan of safari.
And that is why I've
I
also looked
don't.
at that in other African Americans. It's like safaris is not your thing.
I did go on the safari walk one time, just so I
Yeah.
could see the animals kind of up close,
Yeah.
but they were still like in an enclosure somewhere. I,
Yeah.
I wasn't in their living room or in their dining room table, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to be that close to them.
All right. You've done the safaris. What are your top three things. What are the top? What are the some of the things? Top maybe two things that you really love about Kenya. Top two things that you. I know you love your family. Like let's maybe apart from your
Yeah.
family, what are the other two top two, three things that you'd say? I love this stuff when I come to Kenya. This is what I really really love.
Um, I like how I like how green it is.
Mm-hmm.
The country. Everywhere I
Mm-hmm.
go, when I'm traveling, I always see a lot of trees, and there's just
Mm-hmm.
a lot of areas with a lot of greenery. And then
Mm-hmm.
I like the culture,
Okay.
whereas yeah, there's it's
Mm-hmm.
more of a even though I'm not 100, I don't practice 100%, but I do appreciate how communal the culture is. Like for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, at least on the coast. But I
Yes.
did feel like that I did kind of feel like that in Nairobi too. But like
Yeah.
everyone kind of feels like they're your neighbor. Like
Yeah.
they kind of
Yeah.
look out for each other. They
Yeah.
understand what each other is going through. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're genuine. They genuinely want to help other people. And then
Yeah.
the third thing I like, you know, I like I like riding my motorbike around in Kenya. It just it gives me a sense of freedom. Even though it's not as developed where some of the places I ride are rough road or like
Mm,
there's no sidewalks or anything. But when
mm.
I'm riding out here, it kind of just makes me feel like I'm closer closer to nature.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna be a wrap, Richard. Thank you for so much for coming in live. This is our first interview. Would you do this again?
Yeah, it's
Have you-
fine. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I
it's
would give
fine.
it again. It's fine. Yeah,
If
it's fine.
I'll get someone else, you can maybe have like three persons so they can have different questions. There's a friend of mine I did a video with. He's a Jamaican. I'd really like him um, uh, uh, to also pop in. I see someone who's written, okay, oh, the disparaging family. No, what I meant is, I know you love your family. That should be the best thing. I wasn't saying
Yeah.
love your family. I was just saying, I know you love your family, but I was just saying for someone apart from your family, because I also love, I have my wife and family. So, but I'm just like apart from your family, what else do you love? I hope that wasn't, you didn't get
Yeah,
worried about.
I understood. No, I understood the question.
You understood. All right. Yeah, that's from
Yeah.
Jack Mayong. Yeah. He wasn't saying about
Okay.
we love his family. We love family. So, any last parting, whatever you have to say in parting, as we wind it up.
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. For those guys who are watching, we will definitely be having more of these lives. I actually enjoy them. I think it's a really good way to just hear from an expert like Richard. Thank you so much, Richard, for coming in and talking to us. It was really an honor. Anyway, my name is Gideon. I'm a realtor here in Nairobi. So for those experts who are coming in from anywhere you're coming from and you're looking for accommodation, kindly check out my on the description. Um, Richard, if I'm coming to Mombasa, you'll help me hook us up in somewhere to stay, right?
Uh, yeah, just let me know your budget and like whatever your specifications. I can look into it for you.
You know what? That's something you gotta talk that. Have you, by the way, Richard, last time, have you learned some Swahili? Tunaweza ongea Kiswahili na wewe kweli?
I just barely know kidogo kidogo.
All right, it's okay, brother. So thank you so much, guys. Asante sana. See you next time on the next live. Richard, thank you so much. You can feel free to exit at any moment. You're welcome. We'll
Okay.
talk on phone. Yes. Thank you so much, Richard.
All right. Take care.
Check it out. Okay, guys, that was it. That was our first live, and thank you so much, guys, for you guys who have stuck here and listen. Very thankful. Wow, that was something else. Thank you so much. I'll be doing another one tomorrow. I'm diving in the deep end, and I'm gonna be also talking to Kea Wakesho tomorrow, CEO of Traverse Kenya. She's the one who's actually doing some of these relocation to Africa for African Americans. So that's gonna be something. Look for that tomorrow. Thank you so much and see you next time. For any questions in terms of houses, accommodation, just check on the link on the description. You'll find everything there. See you guys next time. Thank you.